In this video, we'll talk about what kind of men women over 40 prefer. A woman over 40 is a confident individual. She knows everything about herself. She knows what kind of relationship she wants. She knows what kind of man she wants by her side. She may have achieved a lot in her career. Perhaps her children have grown up. And she, a woman over 40, is more focused on herself. She's a confident individual who knows what she wants, and often the requirements for a man are completely different than those of girls 20, 25, 30 years old. So, what are the requirements for a woman over 40? And the first one is emotional maturity. A woman chooses a man who is also emotionally mature, that is, a man, for example, who knows how to hear and listen, knows how to understand. A man who is open to compromise, where it's not just about my way or the highway. Like I said, it can't be any other way. A woman over 40 is looking for a man who is open to compromise, taking responsibility for one's words and actions. This again speaks to emotional maturity. A woman can sense when a man is emotionally mature, and if he keeps his word, if he promises something and follows through, then that kind of man is appealing to her.
Next.
Respect for personal boundaries. When a man knows how to respect the interests of his partner, does not try to pressure her, does not try to force her to give up her own some hobbies, he understands the importance. These hobbies understand the need for personal space. There is no desire to deprive oneself of some communication with friends or some of one's personal interests and hobbies. A man who respects his partner's personal boundaries will be very appealing to a woman over 40. And, of course, supporting equality. That kind of man doesn't try to dominate. He wants to interact with a woman as equals. In other words, he likes her for who she is. He appreciates what she's passionate about. He enjoys what she does, and he values what she brings to the relationship. And he doesn't try to break her, change her, dominate her, or force her. A woman over 40 will really like that kind of man. Next, financial stability. This does not mean that there should be a man, for example, too rich. No, that's not what this conversation is about. Here we are talking about the fact that he knows how to plan his budget. He has no debts, and he is responsible in matters of finance. He knows how much he needs. He knows how to cover his needs. He hasn't taken on debts or loans. For example, he doesn't waste all his money. He understands. He understands the value of money and knows how to use it wisely. And this attitude towards money earns respect from women. And that's another plus. Next, common interests and values. A woman after 40, when she meets a man, they begin to communicate, talk, and what she really pays attention to is what they have in common. If their interests align in terms of family, career, hobbies, interests, these are huge pluses for her. If girls at 20 years old do not pay attention to such moments and may not ask questions about what kind of family he imagines, for example, a guy of 25 years old, then a woman of 40 years old, she will listen what to her the man says. And if a man, for example, talks about his values and they really resonate with the woman, she's going to be very attracted to that kind of man. Next, taking care of one's health. When a woman over 40 meets a man, talks to him, and sees that he, for example, he exercises, respects his body, meaning he tries to eat right, for example, he goes to the gym, he has no bad habits, he's independent from any harmful habits. For her, these are huge pluses because taking care of one's health is a very important indicator. It's something that will bring them together. A woman over 40 often focuses on her health, and she'll be interested in a man who is also focused on this issue. Next, the ability to provide support. A woman will pay attention to that too. If a man can give emotional support to a woman when it is needed, that is, she shares her experiences and she understands that he supports her. If something happens in her life and he tries to help somehow, and the woman feels that such a man can be a support in life, that is, he does not refuse some difficult situations in life, does not say that your problems are your problems. He takes part, tries to share some difficulties, tries to take even part of some responsibilities so that it would be easier for the woman. Naturally, a man like that will really attract the attention of a woman over 40. Next, intellectual compatibility. And it is really very important, especially at the age of 40 plus, because people should be interested in communicating. If they're on different intellectual levels, like she wants to talk about intellectual topics, she wants to discuss the philosophy of life, but for him, those topics are completely uninteresting and far removed, and he's into something totally different. then there will be this intellectual gap, and they just won't find it engaging. But when interests coincide, when there are common conversations, when there is a common hobby, some kind of hobbies, some kind of unifying thought, some kind of connecting link, this will always be such a plus in the piggy bank. A woman after 40, she understands more about herself, and she understands what kind of communication should be in her life. So, an intellectual gap is something that can hinder the development of a relationship. Next, a sense of humor, a positive attitude, and ease of communication are always a plus. If a woman enjoys talking to a man and he doesn't create problems for her, and while she's with him, she feels better, happier, and more cheerful, naturally, she'll want to be around that kind of man. Next, confidence, without arrogance. When a man is just confident in himself, without trying to convince a woman that he is confident, he's just like that. And confidence in oneself. A man actually demonstrates not only his strength, but also the ability to respect the interests of a woman, the ability to respect the opinion of a woman. This is the strength of a man when he does not insist only on his point of view, when he does not pull the devil onto himself, when he gives the opportunity to the woman next to him to feel herself too. Confidence. That's the kind of strength that women really appreciate in a man. And he isn't afraid to take responsibility and make decisions. A man is confident when he knows he can handle certain tasks. Such a man has probably been through a lot of tough situations in his life and knows that he can handle them. So he takes on more responsibility. He wants to make life easier for the woman at times. And a woman feels that. She feels his inner strength. She feels that he gives her the chance to feel more relaxed around him. And that really makes a woman fall in love with a man. That's all I have for this video. This was me, Elisa Vardonska. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Leave a comment about what you'd like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell. And goodbye, everyone.